guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and I am starting to feel the spring fever and getting into the summer vibes. So I will be doing an early summer reading vlog. So our weather this last week or so has been like in the 70s to early 80s. It's been absolutely beautiful. Heaters are off, windows are open, flowers are blooming, the whole 9 yards. And so I am just really craving summer reads right now. And I actually have 3 summer romances that I want to pick up in this vlog. One of the books that I want to read for this vlog is The Catch. This is by Amy Lee. This one is a small town romance. I believe it's going to be Grumpy Sunshine. It says the guy single-handedly disproves the theory that Canadians are nice. So sounds like there's going to be a little bit of Grumpy Sunshine, small town kind of romance. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm very excited to try this one out. This one's from my library, but I need to read it so that way I can return it for somebody else to read. So I will be reading The Catch. Another one that I'm going to try and read for this vlog is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This one is basically, I think that they're going to go on a wedding, like a honeymoon or something. And her and the guy that are there don't want anything to do with each other, but they're kind of forced to spend time together and whatnot. So I'm really excited to try this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It gave me vibes of like Blended with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. So I'm really excited to try this one. Also, that's going to be the first book that I've ever read by Christina Lauren. And another super popular romance author that I have yet to read from, that I will try and read from in this vlog, is Emily Henry. I have Beach Read. I picked this one up today. It is about 2 authors. One is a romance author, one is a thriller author, I believe, who are just really stuck in a rut and decide that they are gonna swap genres and write for each other. And so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be really good. And I've heard great things about Emily Henry and Christina Lauren, so I'm very excited to try some of their books out. So I'm probably going to start with The Catch, but I will update you once I get started with one of these books and have some initial first thoughts for you. Good morning, guys. So it is now Thursday, the 25th of April, and it's a little after 7 o'clock. And last night I got up to 145 pages in The Catch by Amy Lee. So far this book is fine. This is following Mel, who is a fashion influencer who gets an opportunity to go to Nova Scotia and create content about a 5-star luxury resort. But when she gets to Canada, she gets a call from the coordinator of this hotel or resort, and it says that her booking dates got mixed up, and so she was actually a week early showing up, and they didn't have any openings for the week that she's there. So she finds a B&B that's an hour and a half away and is staying there with Lucy and Evan are the owners. They're cousins. And there's actually a lot of family strife going on with this B&B. Evan and Lucy are trying to renovate it in order to revive it and keep it in the family because it's been in their family for years. And one of, I believe it's Lucy's mom, wants to sell it, whereas Evan's mom wants to keep it in the family. And because of that, those 2 sisters haven't spoken to each other in years. And then with Mel trying to create content while she is here for the week, she gets into a little boating accident, her and Evan ends up with a concussion. And with everything that happens with this boating accident, Mel tells the doctors that she is his fiance, so that way she can be in the ICU with him and be there, since she wasn't able to get a hold of anybody else. So now there's a whole confusion about them pretending that they're actually engaged to try and mend some fences with the family. So far, this book, there's Grumpy, well, it's not even Grumpy Sunshine, it's more like Grumpy because they're just pissy at each other. But so they don't like each other at all, so it's kind of like an enemies to lovers kind of a thing, fake dating, and then it's not really like a Grumpy Sunshine like I thought, but that's okay. And so far, it's fine. They're arguing all the time is kind of annoying because that's all that they do. Like, they can't even be civil towards each other. They're just constantly picking. But I am having a good time with it. Like, I'm really curious to see where it's going to go. Right now, it's reminding me a lot of, like, the movie-wise, because I always compare to movies. Movie-wise, it started out, like, While You Were Sleeping, and then kind of has turned into, like, The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. That it's kind of reminding me of that, where they're pretending to be engaged and they want to throw a party, and the grandmother keeps saying that they should have a party and get married before she dies, and yada yada. So yeah, so far this book is fine. It's not bad by any means. I'm not having like a fantastic time. There's no incredible banter that I really am enjoying, but I am having a good time with it still nonetheless. I'm going to read some more of this today and see what I've got for more thoughts for you later on. But I am about a third of the way through it right now. And I'm going to keep reading this today and we will go from there. I'll check back in with you later. Alright guys, so it is still Thursday the 25th. I am now down sitting at the bus stop waiting for my kids to get home. It is 4:45 and I edited and posted my May TBR video today, so that took up quite a bit of time. And I'm making lasagna in the crock pot, so I had to get that prepared as well. But I have been reading The Catch today, and I am up to like 3/4 of the way, a little over 3/4 of the way through it. I'm on 266, so I only have right around 100 pages left. And I'm having a good time. I am enjoying their banter more now that it's not all just sniping and snarling at each other. It's more teasing and joking around. And there's actually more feeling behind it. They've started to kind of confide in each other things that have happened to them and problems that they've had in the past, or family things that have happened to both of them. And so I'm really liking that. She said multiple times that she's telling him things that she's never told anyone before. So you're really starting to see Mel begin to open up with Evan. And I like seeing that. She seemed really shallow to start with. Just being a city girl and being an influencer and whatnot, she's supposed to come off that way. And being completely out of her element in a small fishing town. I don't live in a small fishing town, but I do live in a really small town, and so I can kind of understand his point of view with that. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen in the last 100 pages. I'm sure that they're going to end up together as per usual with romance, but there's still quite a bit left for, I guess, the fall apart moment of this book. So like everything right now is like peachy keen and everything is good. They're starting to really fall for each other and care about each other, but the family doesn't know about them pretending to be engaged yet, and so everything still has to like blow up and fall apart first. So I'm waiting for that, and I know that that's gonna happen. But I am probably going to finish that either tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll see how much reading I get done tonight. Like I said, the kids are going to be here in the next, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And then after that, I will be making garlic bread to go along with our lasagna, and then we'll have dinner and all that. Usually I try and do quite a bit of reading before I go to bed, like after the kids and my husband have all gone to bed, and then I'll stay up and I'll read, because that's like my perfect quiet time during the day, that everybody is asleep and I don't have to get milk or baby food or anything like that. I'm going to try and get as much reading done as I can tonight, and hopefully I will like the ending of this book. So far it's sitting at like a 4-star. It's not quite in that 5-star range. Like the banter for Lucky Leap Day, like right from the get-go, really got me. And the way that the book starts with just her not being reliable with whiskey was huge for me. And like, I don't know, just the very start of that book, I just really felt for that. Like, I really vibed with that writing. This one, it was really good, but I don't know, there's just something about it that just doesn't quite fit for me. So I am really enjoying it, but I think it's sitting more at like a 4-star read right now rather than a 5, which is still a good rating. I still am really liking it, but I am excited to see how things play out and what happens, and I will check back in with you with my final thoughts once I finish. Hey guys, so I just have I'm at my parents' house. It is now Friday, about 9 o'clock, and I'm just hanging out at my parents' house for the day, and I almost have finished this. I only have like 20 pages left. I had to cut myself off last night because it was 10:30 and my husband wakes up at 4, my sons wake up at like 6:30, and my daughter wakes up throughout the night, so I have to get my sleep. So I cut myself off at like 10:30, and I only have like 20 pages left of this right now to read. So I'm gonna finish this up, and I will give you my final thoughts right now. Okay, so I just finished The Catch by Amy Lee. What I didn't realize when I first started this book is actually it is the 3rd book in an interconnected series. The first couple of books follow her 2 best friends, Crystal and Tara. And this is the 3rd book, but I didn't realize that. I didn't notice anything. The friends aren't really a huge part in this story, so it's not like spoilery or anything. And I just finished this book, and it was really good, and I really liked it. It was really fun. I loved the ending of it. It was really cute. It was really sweet. So I think I'm gonna land at 4 stars with this one. It's not like a new all-time favorite romance, but it was still really good and it was really cute. I did really like with this one that it was written a little bit different. So for example, like with their engagement party that it talks about, it's not as it's happening. It's not as they are at the engagement party. It's actually told from the perspective of the next day, talking about what happened, like looking back on what happened retrospectively. And I really liked that because you expect it to be a huge part of the book, the engagement party and stuff like that, but it's not. It's looked back on after the fact, talking about what happened and like what happened for the family and what happened with them and stuff like that. It was looking back on it rather than having that take up a huge part of the book. It was just a little bit like, you know, it's the next day and this happened last night and this happened last night, but it's okay, you know. And I did really like that. I thought it was a very interesting way to write those larger party type things like that. I really liked that. I thought it was a very unique way of going about it because it wasn't what I expected. I thought their relationship was really cute, and I liked that with this book, they're both dealing with grief after losing loved ones. For Evan, it was losing his older cousin, Jack, and for Mel, it was losing her father and the fact that she was adopted, and then her family went bankrupt when she was a kid. Her mother left them. And so her dad and her brother was really all she had. And so when her dad died, it really, it was a really hard hit for her and her brother. And I liked with this book that it doesn't gloss over that. They have issues. They have things that are difficult for them. Like for her, it's opening up and having a connection and really being honest with somebody about her feelings and her fears and stuff like that. And with him, it's the guilt that he feels over feeling responsible for what happened to his cousin all those years ago. And so I thought that was an interesting perspective as well. And I like with these romances, somebody who's right around my age, because she says that she's nearly 30, and it's somebody who's right around my age, and it's a real thing that they're not just, this one is really quick because they do fall for each other within like a week. So this one is really quick, but it's also like the forced proximity, having to fake a relationship that causes them to fall for each other. It's not like a love at first sight, like teen romance kind of thing. That's what I like about reading these romances, is because they are a lot more realistic than the teen ones. It's not instantaneous. They have their issues, they have their problems that they need to work through, and it's not just, let's pretend like this isn't something going on. It's, let's face this and work through it, whether it's together or that we're spending together. Let's work through this as one. Like, let's figure this out. And that's why I like these a lot. It makes it feel a lot more realistic. And yeah, so I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars, and now I am going to have to decide between either starting The Unhoneymooners or Beach Read. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to go for just yet. I have a lot of stuff that I need to get done today. I need to go and pick up a couple of books for a reading vlog from the library today while I'm in town. And so I just have a bunch of other things to do, but I will be starting something once I figure it out, and I will update you a little bit more once I choose and start reading that book. Alright guys, so it is now Saturday. I didn't do a whole lot of reading yesterday. I finished reading The Catch yesterday morning. I ended up giving that one 4 stars. And this morning I have picked up The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I just started this and I am up to 73 pages into it now. This is following Olive Torres. She is extremely unlucky. She has gotten laid off from her job and just doesn't have a whole lot of luck. And her sister Amy is getting married, but because of some bad seafood at the wedding, Amy and her new husband are unable to go on the trip, and so now Olive and her new brother-in-law's older brother Ethan are going to Maui for 10 days. So far the banter is fine. It's just them being really nitpicky at each other and like just picking at each other and being turds. But she is already starting to notice some things that she didn't know about him to start with. She doesn't know a lot about him to begin with, but she has those preconceptions or the preconceived ideas about him that she's finding some of them are not as accurate as she thinks. Turns out he is not a big fan of flying, and she never knew that. And I know there's going to be a lot more coming up later on. So I am going to continue reading this today. It is raining on and off outside, so it's a perfect day to just kind of hang out and read and watch movies. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep reading this, and I will check back in with you when I'm a little bit further and have a little bit more thoughts other than the initial. Good morning, guys. So it is now Monday, April 29th, and it's almost 9 o'clock, and I didn't do any vlogging yesterday because we had a pretty lazy day at home. We were just watching movies and just hanging out, taking it easy, watching it rain outside. Very summer-esque for this vlog. But it was nice. But I did end up finishing The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. If I didn't tell you, this is my first Christina Lauren book that I have read so far, and I think I'm ending up at a 4.5 star with this. I loved it. I thought it was really, really great. The only thing that really irritated me at times was Olive really had a poor me perspective. It was always, oh, my luck is so bad, or oh, poor me, or oh, they don't believe me, and stuff like that. And so that got really old, and it was just a very poor me kind of outlook. And she says throughout the book that she is a pessimist, but like it just got really old. Other than that, I thought it was really cute, and I had a really good time with this, and I really liked it. So it was just under 400 pages, and I literally read this in 2 days. I read like 240 pages the first day on Saturday, and then I read like another 30 pages when I was up with my daughter in the middle of the night, and then I read the rest of it yesterday. So I binge read this so much. And this morning I have started Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm not very far into it yet. I'm only on chapter 5, like 42 pages into it. So far it's fine. I'm not really far enough into it yet to give any kind of judgment on it. We've met January, our main character. She is a romance author who her father has passed away, and she found out after he died that he was actually having a long-standing affair with another woman, and he had a secret house and a secret life. And now she is out of desperation moved into his second home and is now living there. And she just found out that her neighbor is actually her college rival, Augustus Everett, who is also a writer. So I'm not very far into this yet, but I am going to keep reading this today, and I will see how far I get, and I'll check back in with you later. So I just wanted to pop on here real quick. I'm on page 82 now, chapter 9. And I just wanted to say that I am so glad that this is one of those stories that they knew each other in college and they actually remembered each other. Like, it's not just that she remembers him, but he has no clue who she is. He remembers her too. I feel like that's something that you, like, I don't know. I feel like with some of the books that I've read, it's like, that doesn't happen, that they actually remember each other. So I'm glad with this one that they actually do. That they actually both remember each other. They remembered things from college. It's not like that miscommunication of like, oh yeah, we knew each other like 8 years ago, but you didn't know who I was. They actually both know each other, and they know that they have a past. They just made the deal that they are going to swap genres, and on Fridays he's gonna show her how he does his research, and then on Saturdays he was teasing her saying they could do all like the romancy stuff, researching her books, like hot air balloon rides and two-person motorcycle rides and all that stuff. So they just made the deal that they are going to try and write each other's genres. First one to sell a book gets endorsements from the other, as well as the money, obviously, with selling a book. And then bragging rights, basically, as well, to hold it over each other. So I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be something where they just really start to spend time with each other, get to know each other, kind of move past the awkward, like, college stage that they obviously had. I think anybody would kind of have the high school going into college thing. Like everybody's awkward at that age because you don't know who you are. You don't know what you're doing with your life or what you're doing in general, at least in my opinion. You know, you change a lot. Like my husband and I got together in our senior year of high school, and people change so much over the years. And like him and I have changed together. So like that's different. We've been together this whole time, so we've changed together. But people change a lot from high school, and like you grow and you mature and whatnot. So I think this one's going to be a lot of fun, that they know each other and they have similar interests, but at the same time, like they don't know each other now, and there's a big difference with that. So I'm going to keep reading this. Like I said, I'm only like 82 pages into it, so I still have quite a ways to go, but I am enjoying it a lot so far. I'm already liking their banter. It's already cracking me up. He's giving her shit about having purse wine and stuff like that. So I'm already liking their banter, and I think it's going to be a really great time. So good morning, guys. So it is now Wednesday, and I finished Beach Read. So the last time I updated you, I was only like 86 pages in, I think, or right around there. I wasn't super far into it, but I binge read this on Monday, and I got up to like 260, I think. And I was really enjoying it. I loved this book. And then last night I ended up finishing it off. I finished it at like 10:30 last night, and then I had to go to bed to try and get some sleep. It is now not even 6 o'clock, but I wanted to quickly update you, and I will wrap this video up later. But I finished this one, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star. I felt like I got kind of disconnected halfway, or like 3/4 of the way through. I got a little bit disconnected from it. I really liked the characters. I liked the looking into grief of losing your loved ones and having things in your past that weren't amazing, that were less than good, that were just not good things that happened in your past that it looked into. I liked the progression of the story and their relationship with Gus and January, and I really had a good time with it. There was just something about it, and like I said, I can't fully pinpoint it other than the fact that I felt like I got somewhat disconnected from the characters partway through, but it just wasn't quite a 5-star for me. I really enjoyed this. This is my first Emily Henry, and I'm really glad that I read it. So yeah, I finished this, and I'm really excited to try more from this author. I don't even know where to begin because I've heard that all of her books are amazing, and so I'm not even sure where to go from here. But I really like the progression of their books, and especially with January's book that she was writing, because you knew more about it, but the progression of her story and trying something new and having everything that it's supposed to be like a sad ending and bad, like things didn't work out and whatnot, but that she says, well, I can't just leave it that way. With everything that's happened, like I know that's what I wanted to do, but I just can't leave it that way. And I loved when Shadi, her best friend, shows up, like drop of a hat. She gets on the train the next day when January needs her, and I loved that. I thought that was a really great addition to this book. And the almost rekindling of the relationship with her mother, just the way that everything plays out, that she's kind of found some sort of peace with everything. Because like at the beginning of this book, she is so pissed off at her parents, at her mom and her dad. Her mom for turning a blind eye, her dad for having this affair, and then she kind of learns more about what happened and her father's point of view with everything. And I really liked that progression as well. I thought that was absolutely necessary for her in this book, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was written beautifully, and like I said, their relationship, it was rocky and it was real, and I really liked that. I liked their little camping trip. If you know about it, then, I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I like their little camping trip that it maybe wasn't like the most fantastic circumstances or whatever, but like good things came from it. And I liked her outlook that she was just like, well, whatever this may be, I want to enjoy it for what it is. With her relationship with Gus, that she was like, you know, even if it's not like long term happily ever after kind of a thing, I want to enjoy this for what it is, and I want to enjoy every day that I get, all this time that I'm able to have with him. And I really liked that. So, like I said, I gave this one 4.5 stars, and I will come back later when I look somewhat more presentable and hopefully not so stuffed up, because I don't know why, but I'm so plugged up this morning. But I will come back later and I will do a wrap up. I think what I'm going to do for you guys is compare my Copile scores in order to give like my full ranking on these. I have a pretty good idea in my head of how I'm going to rank these, which I liked the most, and going down. But overall, I've really enjoyed all three of these books this week, and I flew through them. I started reading The Catch on, I think it was Thursday, I think it was Thursday. I started reading The Catch, and I read these books like pretty much 2 days per book, because and these aren't short. These are 350, almost 400 page books. So I flew through these, and I've had such a great time this week. I'm so glad that I read them, and I am very excited to try more. I know next up, the author that I am going to need to try is Abby Jimenez, because I have not read any of her books yet. And I'm not even sure who else right now. I'm still half asleep. But I know that there are a ton more romance authors that I need to try, and I would love to get some recommendations on other romance authors as well as other books by these authors, Emily Henry and Christina Lauren. Where do you think I should go next with reading their books? Because I really want to pick up more, and I have no clue where to start. So please leave a comment down below and let me know which one you think that I would enjoy and which one you think I should pick up next, because I am very excited to get my hands on some more of these books. Okay guys, so far this week I have read The Catch by Amy Lee. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I liked the progression of the BNB in this book and their relationship and how they ended up actually falling for each other and actually really got to know each other and spend time together. I thought it was good, it was cute, but there were just some things that I didn't really care for the main character, Mel. I didn't care for Mel as much as I wanted to, and so I just felt a disconnect with her especially. I really felt like I liked Evan a lot. I thought he was really relatable, small town, just a small town guy, and I felt like he was very realistic and relatable, but I didn't really connect with Mel, and maybe that's because like the fashion thing and stuff. It was just her, what she did for a living, her being a fashion influencer and all that. It just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. But I gave this one 4 stars. I did think it was really cute and I had a lot of fun with it. The next book that I read was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This one I gave a 4.75, I think is what I'm ending at for this one. I loved this one. I thought it was really good. It was really fun. It was kind of a what can go wrong will go wrong kind of an instance with them running into people that they knew on this trip, and you kind of go out of the frying pan and into the fryer with this one, because she goes from seeing her brand new boss to him seeing his ex-girlfriend, his serious ex-girlfriend. So it was kind of a mess in that instance, and I just had so much fun with this one. I felt like with The Catch that it started out very similar in ways to 2 movies, While You Were Sleeping at the beginning, with him, with him going to the hospital because of a boating accident, and then it turned a lot into like a lot of similarities to The Proposal for me. This one, I saw connections that like made me think of movies, but at the same time it was completely different, and I really liked that. It kind of took its own spin on like Just Go With It, and oh goodness, I don't even remember what other ones right now, but I think Blended was another one. Yeah, Just Go With It and Blended and stuff like that. And I had a really great time with this book. I thought it was really cute. I really liked their relationship. She kind of annoyed me with all of her poor me attitude, but overall I really, really enjoyed it. And then the last one that I read was Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. I really, really liked it. I loved the dynamic between January and Gus, and I thought it was really cute. I loved seeing the progression of January's book that she was writing and how that kind of went along with their relationship as well. And I just really had a good time with it. I felt like I got a little bit of a disconnect in the last bit of the book from those characters though. And I think that's why I'm sitting at a 4.5, because I really, really enjoyed this, but I just felt a disconnect with them at the end. And I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if it's because I binge read most of it in one day and then finished it the next. I'm not entirely sure, but it just didn't quite hit that 5-star read for me. So far, these are the 3 books that I have read this week, and I've had such a good time with them, and I've really, really loved it. But I thought, since today is May 1st and I am officially opening things up for my May TBR for myself and allowing myself to start reading my books for May, I thought that I might try to throw in Jana Goes Wild in this vlog as well. This is by Farrah Heron. This is about Jana, who goes into the Serengeti National Park to be in the wedding party for a friend of hers. And she's there with her mom and her 4-year-old daughter. And then also her daughter's father is there as well as a groomsman. And she never married him. They're not divorced or anything like that. He was actually married to another woman when her and him were together and when their daughter was conceived. And so they never actually had like a real relationship, but they are co-parenting, and now come to find out they're on this trip together. So she's having to contend with the fact that she's having to be around this man that she just doesn't really want anything to do with. Like, she's still pissed at him for the 5 years before, from 5 years before when she found out that he was actually married, and their relationship came to a screeching halt. She believed that she was falling in love with him after they spent 2 weeks together, and then she found out that he was married and everything just got, stopped. So I am reading this one. I started this morning. I'm 50 pages into it, and I'm enjoying it so far. They've just gotten to the Serengeti National Park, and she's talking about how she can't deny him the opportunity to see their daughter in Tanzania for the first time, because that's where their families are from, that's where their family history is. And so she can't really deny that, and she can't help but kind of be irritated that he's like on point as a dad, having snacks for the daughter that she didn't have, that is not available to her in Canada and whatnot. So she's kind of pissed at him, just like irritated with him for just being like on point as a dad, which I love seeing that. I like that they're present. They're very present for their daughter, and it's not something that like they are fighting or, having all these issues and like all this drama. They didn't work out, but now they have the daughter, and their first and foremost, their priority is their daughter. And I really appreciate that, being a mom of 3. I'm not divorced or anything like that. I'm obviously with my husband still, but that's something that I really appreciate that. I also really feel like I can connect with Jana as a character so far, because she is so much of a homebody that it said in here that she has her daughter and she has her mom and she doesn't really need anything else. And that's kind of how I am, because I'm such a homebody. I am a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and we just don't really have a very social life. Like, my husband and I got together in our senior year of high school, so we've always had each other. I didn't go to college for very long. My oldest son was born the week before I turned 20 years old, and so we've always had a family. And so for me, like, I don't have a whole lot of friends. We don't hang out with anybody. We don't go out because we have young kids, and we're very close knit. And so it's just my husband, my kids, my parents live close by, so I go in and I see them regularly. But other than that, I don't really go and see anybody, or I don't really have friends that I go and hang out with. And so I can really, really connect with her, and the fact that she says that she has her daughter and she doesn't really need anything else other than that. So I am really enjoying her character so far. She just found out that the guy that just did her job interview is actually on this trip as well. So another boss that shows up on another continent, in another place unexpectedly. And come to find out, her mom has actually been lying to pretty much everybody for years and years, saying that Jana was divorced, even though they were never actually married, just because that way her daughter would be legitimate. And yeah, so I'm not very far into this. Like I said, I'm only like 50 pages into this, but I'm going to keep reading it today, and I will try and update you. Like I said, I've already finished the 3 I was planning on, so this is just kind of like my little bonus that I'm going to add into this because I want to read it, and I'm having such a great time with these summer romances. And so I will check back in with you when I have more thoughts on Jana Goes Wild. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. It is about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I am up to 136 pages into Jana Goes Wild. So I'm on chapter 14. I'm a little bit under halfway through right now, and I'm enjoying this. I like it a lot. I think that the relationship is kind of what you would expect with the way that their relationship got ruined in the first place. Like, you could kind of expect for her to distance herself the way that she has, have the residual anger towards him and whatnot. But he says that he really does want to have a good relationship with her, like a good friendship with her, for the sake of their daughter. And I believe that he also wants a second chance with her. He hasn't he hasn't said that outright, that he wants to have a second chance with her and try and work things out, but it's kind of implied almost that way. And she's obviously not seeing it because she doesn't want to. But she's still attracted to him. She talks about how attractive he still is, and having a lot of memories come up from when they had their little fling 5 years before. And I love seeing both of their dynamics with the daughter and having to just figure things out as they go with being in this close proximity. So I am really enjoying this so far. It says on the back that it's a laugh out loud rom-com. I haven't laughed out loud yet, but there hasn't really been anything. The only thing that's really happened that is kind of funny is that, like, it was after the wedding that she tripped over elephant crap and fell on her butt. And that was it. And that was like the extent of the humor in this. Otherwise, there hasn't really been any humor. But so far it is cute. I am enjoying it. It's nothing spectacular, but I am enjoying it a lot. I really like the perspective of being a parent in this, and the fact that over anything else, their daughter comes first and foremost, and that's all there is to it. No questions asked. Neither one of them thinks that it should be any other way. And I really appreciate that. So, yeah, I am going to try and keep reading this. My husband's on his way home, so it's going to get probably kind of cut up and not going to be like consistently reading like I've been trying to do. My daughter has been super, super wound up today too for whatever reason, so she's just been wanting to play. And that's just how it goes. But yeah, so I'm going to keep reading this. I'm going to see how far I can get today. I'll probably end up having to finish it tomorrow, as has been the case with every book in this vlog so far. It's taken me 2 days. I can't just sit and read it in one day, but it's like 330 pages. So even if I can't finish it tomorrow, that's going to work out fine. And so I will check back in with you when I have more thoughts or possibly final thoughts. But I wanted to check in before my husband's home and I get distracted and let you know what I'm thinking so far. Like I said, so far it's not anything absolutely amazing, but it's fine and I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying hearing about their safaris, and I just imagine taking my kids, whether it's to Disney or if we were ever able to go to Africa for a safari, like how amazing that would be. So I just keep imagining, like, if I were in her shoes, how cool that would be. Okay guys, so it has been like a week since I last updated this, and it's been crazy. So the last time that I talked to you guys, I was reading Jana Goes Wild by Farrah Heron. I finished this book last Thursday and I gave it like a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I loved the trip to Africa and I liked the writing style a lot. And I really liked the romance. I liked that with this book, it was that they established that both mom and dad were great parents already. And now it was just a matter of figuring things out between them and coming back together after the 5 years since they had split. I really liked that. There was a little bit too much miscommunication in here, I thought. It got a little bit excessive. But, I mean, it was a lot of her jumping to conclusions, Jana jumping to conclusions about Anil, her daughter's father. It was a lot of jumping to conclusion, and to an extent I can understand that, but it just felt like it was every time you turn around, she's jumping to some conclusion and then thinking the worst of him and then finding out, oh, hey, maybe he isn't such a bad guy. So that got a little bit old just because there was so much of it. But overall, I really enjoyed this book and I'm really, really glad that I read it. So last week I read 4 books. They are all summary romances and I had so much fun. So I have my CAWPILE pulled up. I keep track of all of the books that I have read on here and my ratings for them. So let's see how the CAWPILEs compare. So coming in at my lowest rated with 4 stars is The Catch by Amy Lee. This one got an average 7.57 rating. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, but I feel like this one is somewhat forgettable, and I just didn't vibe with Mel as much as I hoped I would, and so that's why it got 4 stars and not higher. But overall, I did really enjoy this, and I had a really good time reading it. The next highest rated that I had with like a 4.25 or a 4.5 stars ended up with an 8.57 CAWPILE average, and that was Beach Read. This one, like I said, I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really liked this one. I just felt like I kind of fell off the bandwagon towards the end. I kind of lost interest. I kind of stopped caring about the relationship. But overall, like, I loved the story. I loved the characters. I liked watching the progression of their books that she was writing. And I had a really good time. I'm really, really glad that I read this, and I'm excited to pick up more Emily Henry. And then this is where it kind of fluctuates because, like I said, these are all 4 stars one way or another. So we have the 4 to 4.5, 4.75, not quite 5 stars. But like I said, looking back on it, especially a week later where it's not, I'm just finishing these and putting in my scores. My next one would be The Unhoneymooners with an 8.64. However, I think looking back on it, this is going to be like my favorite of the 4. But yeah, like this one got an 8.64 average. I gave this one 4.75 stars. I really, really liked this one a lot. I had so much fun with their Hawaii trip. And like I said before, the ending of this, when it talks about them going ziplining in Maui, I mean, who wouldn't want to go ziplining in Hawaii? And I don't even like heights, but I just think that looks like it sounded like an amazing, super fun experience. All right, and then last but not least, this one came in with an 8.79 for Jana Goes Wild. Like I said, this was like a 4.75. I really, really enjoyed these. I honestly, I don't know which I liked better. These two are right up at the top, but these, I think, score out kind of around like this. Like I said, these two are pretty well tied for how much I enjoyed them, and I absolutely will be looking for more from these authors. I actually already found Something Wilder by Christina Lauren that I really want to try out, but I need to buy it first. But I really want to read that one. I did see a review that it's more adventure than romance, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind if there's more to the story than just the love story. So I really want to try that one out. And then, of course, Beach Read and finally The Catch. Like I said, I had such a great time reading all of these. And if you have any recommendations for other Christina Lauren or Emily Henry books for me, if you think that I would enjoy them, also any other Farrah Herons, I definitely want to try out some more because I really enjoyed all of their writing. And like I said, if you have any recommendations for me, please let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe down below if you would like to see more from me. I try to post on Thursdays, but it kind of gets a little iffy depending on the week. Like I said, I finished these books last week and I have not had the opportunity to film. I got sick. And then on Saturday, we had the annual Monster Truck show that we took our sons to, which was a lot of fun, other than the fact that I was sick. And it's just been kind of wild from there. And so, yeah, I am so excited to get started on my next vlog or continue working on my next vlog. And again, if you have any recommendations for books that you think I would like by Christina Lauren, Emily Henry, or any other authors, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to be able to pick some of those up. If you've read Something Wilder and you think that I would or would not like it, please let me know because I have not gotten it yet, but I am on the lookout for it. Alright, I will catch you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye! Thank you.